Hello, I'm Timothy Wesco. I am the state representative here in this area and just so excited to be here today as we welcome a veteran of the Second World War and have the opportunity to talk to him, along with a number of other veterans here with us today. I heard one from Korea and then
Korean War.
several from Vietnam. And we thank you guys for your service to our country, the sacrifice that you and so many others made so that we can have the freedom that we have today and that we can worship freely and assemble together freely and speak our minds and the freedom of speech and all of the freedoms that we enjoy here in America so much. So if we could just real quick go around and just give your name and where you served and your branch of the military. Can we?
My name is Don Gordon. I was in the Air Force. I was a load master on C-141 transports based out of Little Air Force Base, New Jersey, flew worldwide as well as into Vietnam. Steve Deinhardt, spent 31 years in the Army. My basic was Vietnam. Then I came after, got off active duty, came back and joined the Indiana Guard.
Okay, my name is Romy Zanetti, and I was in the Korean War. Graduated from Notre Dame, so when I got out of school, I started my profession in accounting. And about 3 years after graduation in 1954, my draft number came up. So if you had a draft number, you automatically having to go into the service. So I spent 2 years in the service, and during that time, they put me in charge of the payroll for the company. So I had to make sure that all the people in the that group got their proper pay every month. So that was my duty and responsibility for the 2 years that I was in the military.
And Bob?
Well, I served about 2.5 years in the Air Force. I thought I was headed for the infantry when I went in the service, and I sure didn't want to go to the infantry. So I joined the Air Force and started flying, and they put me back there in that big tail. And I was all by myself, and I could see everything was going on, and I could see all the bullets and the fire and everything. So it was really exciting. But thank the Lord, I never got hit. I never got hurt. Got scared.
Yeah.
But I thank the Lord that I come back and could see all this.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back to you, Bob. We'll go around and finish introducing ourselves.
My name is Craig Cyber. I was in the Marine Corps for 9 years, in the Army for 2, and the Air Force for 12. When I was in the Marine Corps, I was 19 years old when I went in, and I went to Vietnam. And, it was an interesting tour. It was one of the hottest places I think I've ever been in. Humidity was sometimes higher than the actual temperature. But got to learn a lot about different cultures, how people differ, especially being just a 19-year-old kid from Indiana and hadn't really been anywhere or met a lot of different people. And so you bring them together. So I had a good tour and met a lot of nice people.
Bill Maurer, Berlin, Germany, military field. Well, the wall was still up. I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed giving my time to where Mark Polger. And, I went into the Army for 3 years. I went to Vietnam. I went to Germany for 9 months and some stateside duty. I worked in maintenance. I would like to say that a number of us here are from Faith United Methodist Church. We have our own veterans group there, and we come and visit here once a month with veterans here. So it's kind of an outreach program. So we're proud to come and meet with these other veterans and hear a lot of stories that someday we'll be here. Hear these veterans tell us about wars in the past. I'm Jim Smith. I was Air Force veteran 22 years. My two brothers served also in the Air Force. So we had a total of 67 years. I went in during the Vietnam and I spent my year in Thailand. My brother was in Saigon and my other brother was in Japan. So we all were in the Far East. And I was aircraft control warning operator and controlled the aircraft that went into North Vietnam. Did the job we needed to do, and then came back and joined the reserves. Stayed down at Grissom Air Reserve Base now. Used to be Grissom Air Force Base. We had KC-135s, which are tankers, where to put the fuel in the airplanes. Before that, we had A-10 Warhawks. So as part of that, I worked for the commander down there.
Well, that's a excellent segue into the fact that these young people, their grandpa was a Air Force veteran, and he was served as a navigator on a B-52
Yeah.
Stratofortress, and he was stationed in Thailand and Guam as well as up in the UP of Michigan. And so Grandpa passed away just a couple years ago, but we have very good memories of him and his different stories and experiences. So, Bob, it looks like you brought something here today. This looks like a fighter jacket here. Could you tell us what it is?
Air Force jacket, and every time I flew a mission, I painted a bomb there. There's 35 bombs on there,
Wow.
Wow.
and painted the front with the name of $5,000. It was a 5,000 B-17 built, and that's why they call it $5,000.
All right. Well, after we're done, I'd like you to put it on so we can see you wear it.
I don't know about that.
If you can wear it. So
Still fits.
35 missions. So I heard you say earlier that you grew up in Ohio.
You know,
Could you tell me a little bit about your childhood? Was it a farming community, or were you more in the
it's just
city?
a little town, Lima, Ohio. You probably never heard of it,
Yeah, I've heard it.
but it's about 20,000 people, and I was raised there by my father and my mother, and I lived there practically for like 40 years, and then I went to Florida, and I lived down there for about 20 before my wife passed away, and I was the only one left, so I just stayed here.
All right. All right. So what year did you graduate from high school?
42.
1942. And did you sign up for the Air Force shortly after that?
I signed up when I knew they was going to draft me, and I'd probably ended up in the infantry.
Ah.
So I joined the Air Force.
Well, there's no, my dad, their grandpa, used to say that he didn't really want to get drafted into the Army either. So he joined the Air Force too.
There you go.
But being in the Air Force wasn't all that easy either. And
Oh, it was exciting, though. I always liked excitement. I couldn't see being in the infantry and sit around and just look at each other. Get in the airplane and you spend 10 hours every day up there all by yourself. And you did a lot of thinking and a lot of praying.
yeah. So were you first in Italy and then in England, or were you first in England and then in Italy?
What?
You were stationed, you said you flew out of Italy?
Yeah, I was stationed in England, and they transferred me from the 8th Air Force to the 15th in Italy.
All right.
Capri, Isle of Capri, and I finished my missions down there in Italy.
So you flew 10 missions as part of the 8th Air Force out of England,
You know,
and then 25 missions out of the 9th Air Force in Italy.
Italy, you know.
So what year were you in England? Was that in 1943 or 44?
I don't know. I was 18 years old when I went in, and I was in there for about 2.5 years.
A lot of planes got shot down in 1943, didn't they?
A lot of them. You know, we lost all of our crew, and but it was a good old airplane. Oh boy, lot better than some of those Japanese.
Mm-hmm. So, what time would you usually get up in the morning to get up
Now,
in the air? No, when you were young, when you were in the Air Force and you had a mission to fly, what time would they wake you up?
about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, because you have to get ready to go get your suit on and get all ready and take off. And my guy, you probably fit 5, 6 hours before you take off for a mission, and then you was up in the air for 8, 10 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and you got pretty hungry.
So, why'd you have to get dressed up in a suit to go up on the airplane?
Well, we didn't have our suit on. We had a flight suit. It's just sort of a coverall,
Did you have one of those electric ones that had that heat?
you know.
Why did you need an electric suit to that had heat in it?
Well, if you was up there flying, you got shot out. Your hydrogen center was shot out. Why, you could get frostbite in about an hour.
Is it cold up there?
About 50 below zero.
50 below zero.
Yeah, you get frostbite real quick.
Did you have to wear big gloves?
Oh, heated suit, gloves, and everything.
Did you ever take your gloves off?
Well, I saw one gunner, a friend of mine. He got excited on a flight, and he jerked his glove off and grabbed his machine gun, and it just froze right on. Get it off. But he was going to fix that gun, but boy, you couldn't do that.
It got so cold that your hand would just stick.
Oh, 15, 20 below zero.
So he lost the skin on his hand.
Yeah.
Got really badly hurt, huh?
Oh, yeah, you could lose your hand real quick.
Did those electric suits gave the men they had a lot of problems. Did your suit ever not work?
Oh, yeah, but if you got back quick enough before you got frostbite, you was all right. But it was bad, if you got some kind of problem with heating suit or anything like that, then you could get, probably could never pull through.
So back there in the tail of that airplane, you were sitting on like a little bike seat, weren't you? Was that comfortable?
Not very. I was sitting on my knees on a bicycle seat about that high. And I was sitting like that for 8 to 10 hours.
You couldn't stand up?
Oh, no. Not in the tail.
And you were trapped back there. You couldn't go up.
I could crawl up there,
You could.
but that was my position in the tail, and I stayed there until something happened where you had to get out. But I envied the other guys. They were in the waist. They could walk around and look, and I had to crawl too. Boy, it was terrible.
So it was better for you just to stay back there.
I liked it because of by myself.
But you could talk to the other guys on your radio.
Yeah.
Did you ever take a nap up there?
Oh, yeah. Well, going up and coming back, but not during the mission. Got a little noisy.
Yeah. What was that? Was the airplane noisy?
Oh, my gosh. That's why I can't hear very good. I got double earpieces, and it just ruined your hearing. And,
Did you ever have any flak that hit close to you?
Yeah, I had a piece of flak above my head about that far. And it sure made a racket when I went through there, but I didn't get hurt. That's the closest I got. Thank the Lord for that.
Now, flak was these projectiles that they would shoot up in the sky that would blow up in the sky. And if there was any airplane near the flak, it would hit the airplane and potentially bring the airplane down. It was very dangerous. And so you saw that flak exploding out there. I bet you saw a lot of that from the tail.
Pretty at first, but when it got close, the plane was going like that, and could last 10 or 15 minutes before you got out of the flak.
Did you ever see another airplane get hit and go down with flak?
Oh, a lot of them. A lot of them. Yeah. But I never got hit. Plane got hit, but I never got hit. One piece went right above my head, and I think that's why I can't hear.
Yeah.
It was loud.
So when you'd see another airplane get hit and start to go down, would you watch it?
You know what?
Would you watch that airplane that start to go down?
Oh yeah.
What would you watch for?
We had to watch and try to, after the mission, you'd want to say who got hit and how come and all that. So you had to watch when you got hit, whether you had to bail out or they got hit or got hurt. And you never knew until they landed.
So you'd watch for maybe parachutes or something
Oh, yeah.
from the guys jumping out of the airplanes that got hit.
Yeah, yeah. And the sky was just black with flak and moving or banging, and that's why I can't hardly hear. It was loud. It was loud. But I'd rather be up there than down there in the infantry.
Yeah. Now, you would fly in a squadron with a lot of other planes together. How many together how many airplanes would fly together?
Well, in the group there was 10, and we had a group, so there'd be about 40 every mission, 40 B-17.
So you could see your other airplanes around
Oh,
you.
yeah.
You could above you, and below you, and
Yeah,
could you
well,
talk to those other
I was in the
airplanes?
tail, so I could watch all the planes behind me.
Could you talk to them on the radio?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was exciting. I liked to fly. I just didn't care for them to shoot me.
No.
They was
Yeah.
probably getting a kick out of it.
Did you ever lose a man on your crew? Was anyone ever killed on your airplane?
I only lost 2. Yeah, 2 out of 10.
2 airplanes out of 10?
Yeah.
What about on your airplane itself? Did you ever lose any of your crew members?
We never got shot down, but we got holes, a lot of holes in the plane. And like I said, closest I got being hit was just about a foot above my head. A piece of flak went through there, and awful loud. Boy, I never heard so much. I can't hear very good anymore. But nothing they could do about that. But you take 10 bombers like that, one of them would, ruin your hearing aid. And there you got 10 bombers making
Yeah.
that noise.
Did you have fighter escorts with you?
Oh, yeah. P-51s.
You were glad to see them, weren't
Good
you?
fighter ship.
Yeah.
That's what I always wanted to be, in a fighter. I didn't want to be in a bomber. Oh, well, it's all over but shooting. That's what we always said.
Now, early on in the 8th Air Force, the fighters didn't have the ability to go all the way over the target because they didn't have enough fuel. Did you ever have to fly your squadron without any fighter protection?
Yeah, the fighters, they couldn't stay up as long as we could. We could stay up for about 10 hours, but they're limited about 3 or 4 hours. They had to go back and refuel.
Yeah. So then you had to face the German Messerschmitt fighters alone.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever see any of those up there? The German fighters?
Oh, I used to see a lot of them.
And you shot at them?
I shot at them, and they shot at me.
Did you ever get any of them?
Oh, I think I shot one plane down. If they were harder hit, they was fighter planes, the ones that attacked the bombers.
Mm-hmm. So they flew really fast.
You know,
You had to aim in front of them.
I'll lead them about 10 planes. Yeah, but the noise was terrible. It's terrible. You get one B-17 up there with a big old 50 caliber machine guns, and it just about tear your ears out. And here you got a whole bomber group That's about 50 of these planes.
Yeah.
It's no wonder I can't hear much.
So when the airplane would bombs away and let the bombs go, would your airplane go up higher?
Yeah. Yeah, all that weight, it's about 10,000 pounds. And when they drop, you're up.
You go up a lot fast. Now,
Another thing, you want to get rid of them before they start to hit your plane.
yeah. Was it a sigh? Did you feel relief when you let the bombs go?
Oh, yeah.
Now you could get back home.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was awful when you were flying on a plane and you didn't know when it was going to blow up.
Mm.
Yeah. But the Lord was good. He brought us home and never got hurt.
Mm. Did you ever have any scary takeoffs or landings?
Oh, yeah. Well, we had near misses in the air, and we got a couple engines shot out, but we could get 2 engines shot out and still come back with 2.
You had that happen?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But
Now,
it was something that had to be done, and I was a young kid, didn't have much sense.
you flew on the famous $5,000 airplane.
Yeah,
Why was it named that?
5,000 B-17 built.
Out of the Seattle plant.
Well, we got it, and when it came off the assembly line, everybody put their name on it. I got pictures of it now. There's not a place on there that didn't have a name. And they called it $5,000. It's probably the most famous B-17. Yeah.
So did you?
Pilot was about 6'4", and the co-pilot was about 5'8". We called him Mutton Jeff.
How many missions did you fly on the $5,000?
35.
All 35, because it only flew 78 missions. So you flew almost half of the missions on that airplane.
Oh yeah.
Now, did you ever get scared that the Germans would really try to target your airplane? Because it would really stick out up there with all that signatures on it and all of that.
Well, you could tell sometimes when they were tracking you because you'd see the shells breaking, and if they fall in line, you know they're tracking your plane.
Did it ever worry you that your airplane would stick out from the others and they'd try to go after you?
Yeah. But nothing you could do that. They just shot at you. You had to hope they missed.
Mm-hmm. And they missed a lot.
They missed mine.
Wow.
Yep. I'll bet these guys had fun too.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to fly your 35 missions?
About 10 hours.
How many months?
How many months?
Did it take you a year?
Probably about 8 months.
8 months? Did you like England or Italy better? Did you like England or Italy better?
Oh, I liked England a lot better than Italy. Italy was a poor country, but England was more like the United States.
Hmm.
And but I only flew 10 missions out of England and 25 out of Italy. Italy was a poor country.
Hmm.
You know.
Did you ever take a leave and go to London?
Oh yeah.
What did you do there?
Oh, chase girls.
Did you?
Honest man.
You asked for it.
There was a lot happening in the city back then, wasn't there?
Yeah. And of course, there were a lot of women, you know, all the men were gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was nice when you got a vacation or something and didn't have all that competition.
But then did you ever catch one?
Catch what?
A girl?
Yeah, I caught it.
They were all smiling. They were all.
Just gave him a big kiss and said bye-bye.
Now did you ever overstay your leave, or did you always get back on base when you were supposed to?
No, I never had a problem with that. No, I always go back on time.
Was it you get on a bus and go to London? you would get on a bus and go to London and then come back.
Yeah.
How long of a drive was it?
How long? What?
Was it from the base to get to London? How long of a drive in the bus?
In the bus? Oh, probably 2 hours.
Okay.
You know.
And did you enjoy getting to see the city of London?
Oh yeah, I thought London was I liked England. I didn't care much for Italy. Italy was shot up, but it was a very poor country. But England was a nice one. But
When you were in London, did you go to the Tower of London
yeah,
and you got to see the crown jewels?
yeah,
What about the Big Ben? Did you see Big Ben at the?
yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to see them all every time I had leave, because I was stationed right there in London.
Mm-hmm. But then you said you were in Italy on the island of Capri.
I was in Italy for 10 missions, 25 out of England.
Oh, okay. Now Capri is a pretty beautiful island, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Pretty water and shore.
It's a pretty country, but it was all shot up.
Mm.
You know.
And then you couldn't speak the same language as the people that lived
No.
there.
No, I sure couldn't.
So what did you feel like after your last mission?
Praise the Lord.
Relief.
You were ready to go home?
Well, I was ready. A big relief.
Do you remember when you flew your last mission? Do you remember the date?
It was really we call it a sort of a soup plane, because we went on our last mission. We did get they shot at us, never hit us, never got it shot down or anything, and the 10th inning or mission was just a food job. It was really great.
Mm. Did you notice it getting easier as the war went on? Like there weren't as many fighters that come up to go after you?
Oh yeah, towards the end of the war, you didn't hardly see any fighters. It was all flak.
Mm-hmm.
All the fighters were gone, and they never did have fighters like we had.
So were you flying missions over the oil fields in Romania?
You know,
What other targets?
we had a lot of oil fields. That was our big target. Was oil fields.
All right.
Of course, if you got knocked out their oil, you knocked out their planes and everything.
Did you ever go on any of the raids to the ball bearing factories?
Yeah,
Stuttgart?
in England,
Yeah.
you know,
Those were pretty
Yeah.
tough.
yeah. Yeah, it was a war that probably should have never been shot, but you couldn't do anything about it.
So what did you do when you came home? Did you leave the military right away?
Yeah, I got discharged and went to work in a factory.
So you were just in for a couple years?
You know,
How did it take a long time to get trained for your position?
yeah, 2 years was mainly away from home.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty easy life after when the war ended.
Yeah.
I was the first one out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big war, and I wouldn't want to do it again.
No. You probably knew a lot of guys who didn't come back.
You know. Yeah, out of a 10-man crew, we only had about 2 men that made it.
That made it through the war?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But something that had to be done, and it was, thank the Lord that they brought us back safe.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to tell these kids about your experiences? Anything funny that happened to you?
You wouldn't want to hear them. Yeah, they were exciting, but they were dangerous.
Yeah.
And something you had to be done. And out of a 10-man crew, we all came home back
Yeah.
in one piece.
Do you guys have any questions, for Mr. Boyer? No, isn't his experience amazing? Now remember this guy. He got to really see something that there's not many of you left, are there?
I don't know any. Yeah. But it's better than the infantry, I'll tell you that one, kid. Just never darn, you don't want to go in the infantry.
No. You know, I asked you this before because I wasn't sure if you'd go crawling back in the airplane or not, but how'd you use the bathroom back there in the tail?
Well, you just wet your pants.
It would freeze, wouldn't it?
Not much else you do.
Yeah. Wow.
You couldn't go to the potty because there was no potty. Yeah, it was a lot better than the ones that was in the infantry, though. Well, I wouldn't want to have been in the infantry for nothing.
Did you shoot your gun about every time you went up, or?
Yeah, that's another thing. They were so loud, I can't hardly hear anything without.
What size were the cartridges you were shooting? What size was the gun? The cartridges?
105, we called it. It was a long distance air gun.
All right.
Powerful.
And it was loud.
Oh, I never heard just one plane so loud. You'd take 10 planes. It's no wonder you're deaf when you get out.
Yeah. Did you have to get hearing aids when you were young?
Ever get what?
Hearing aids?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had hearing aid ever since I was about 18 years old.
Wow. Well, we thank you for your sacrifice. And
You know, it's something that had to be done, and lost a lot of good men,
yeah,
and hope it never happens again.
me too. Well, I know I appreciate it, and all of these young people appreciate it too.
Yeah, you never want to go in that Army or Air Force or anything.
It's hard.
Dangerous.
Yeah. But we're thankful that you fought for our country when we needed it.
Well, I was just one out of a million.
Yeah. And many like you didn't come home.
You know. Yeah, I had a brother that he was in infantry, and he got hit probably after about a year, and he come back, but he's never back to normal. Never recovered over 100%.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that infantry is terrible.
Yeah. Well, we thank you. Thank you for your time. And I don't know if there's any other questions anyone have or thoughts, anything you'd like to share? No? Can we look closer at your jacket here?
Yeah.
Can I show the kids your jacket? There's your...
Yeah, I painted the plane, and then every time I flew a mission, I painted the bomb. So that's...
Can you see that? Now in the front, you see?
$5 grand is 5,000.
$5,000. That was the famous airplane that Mr. Bohyer flew on. And if you look up a picture of that airplane, you can actually see his name on the tail. You put it in big letters, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of art painting. I like to paint. So I just, when I got that jacket, I painted it and didn't wear it very often. Just like new.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for another war.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Bohyer, and thank you for your service.
Well, thanks for what you're doing. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You got a shake there.
Would any of you like to come on?
Bye, kid.
Why don't you come up and shake Mr. Boyer's hand? Shake his hand.